Go for it.
Oh, yeah. 4 pre-rolls. Starting with Freshly. Having one less thing on your plate never tasted so good. Take advantage of Freshly's end of summer sale and score a special deal. $125 off your first 5 orders at freshly.com/JRVP when you order today. That's freshly.com/JRVP. Freshly.com/JRVP for $125 off your first 5 orders. We love our Freshly. We also love our Helix. I missed my Helix mattress when I was in London. The Helix lineup has 14 unique mattresses, including a collection of luxury models, a mattress for big and tall sleepers like Anthony, even a mattress made just for kids. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders, 2 free pillows for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/JRVP with Helix. Better sleep starts now. Also, what starts now? Little private internet access. If you want access to more shows and movies than ever before, now is the time to subscribe to private internet access. Like I said, if you want more access to shows and movies, now is the time to subscribe to private internet access. Head to piavpn.com/JRVP and get a 82% discount. Seriously, 82%. That's just $2.11 a month. You also get 3 extra months completely for free, but you must go to piavpn.com/JRVP for a truly private digital life. One last time, piavpn.com/JRVP. Finally, it's Athletic Greens. We're giving away a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Visit athleticgreens.com/JRVP for a free 1-year supply of vitamin D, 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. That's athleticgreens.com/JRVP. We're in different places, Anthony. But the pre-rolls were back. So is JRVP. We're learning about cheating fishermen, dropping demons, and whatever the hell Anthony has been up to since episode 175. Now it's 177 of the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project.
JRVP. Junior Vice President.
Beauty is not in the face. Beauty is a light in the heart.
Intro hitting a little different when we're in different rooms. We're recording separately, which I guess if you're watching our YouTube show, you would know. But if you're listening, you can see me elsewhere, and you can see Anthony at the studio.
This is one you definitely want to check out, the YouTube, when it drops on Wednesday. Gregg, it's me like I normally would be in the studio, and then Gregg's giant head, like a giant Gregg head. From a hotel room near his house. Gregg is a little under the weather, and normally we would just man up and just do it. But since I start my tour tomorrow. I leave tomorrow for San Jose, and I said, "You're not fucking coming in here. I'm not getting sick before I have to go on tour. I'm not canceling dates." And I've been very very healthy for years now. And I'm not going to risk it now. Now when I have money on the line, I could have gotten sick and would have been fine. Like I got the booster. I got the new COVID booster last week and had to take a day. This is my second booster I've gotten. And the first shot didn't do anything to me. The first booster didn't do anything. And this one, I took a day and just laid in bed. It was it wasn't bad, but it was like I'm just not getting out of bed. And I enjoyed myself. But giant head Gregg, this reminds me of, do you remember the baby picture we had of you? In LA for a few years. I don't know what happened to that. When Gregg and I moved to Los Angeles after college, he threw a bunch of stuff in his car and then drove to Pittsburgh. I got my car, threw a bunch of stuff in my car, and then we drove to LA and unpacked our cars to see what our lives were going to be like moving forward. And I had normal stuff, and Gregg had normal stuff, and then all of a sudden he just had this framed picture of Gregg's baby face. I don't know why you packed it, but it was the proportions were off, that it just looked like a giant baby head, that people would walk into our place and see it and start dying laughing. What happened to that? What happened? I mean,
you had it last. So,
yeah, I think you left it with me. It might be in Pittsburgh. I may have put it in the car. I don't think I would have left it in LA when I moved to New York. I think I put it in the car and drove it to Pittsburgh. And I think I left it. I think my sisters took it and were like, "This is so funny. What is this?" And I'm like, "That's Gregg." And they kept it. But you look like giant baby picture Gregg.
Well, it wasn't even a cute baby, maybe I just wasn't a cute baby. It wasn't a cute picture. It was just a gigantic, looking like a balding, like 45-year-old guy kind of face, just like a huge close up on a big fat face and no hair. I always found it really touching when I would come visit you in LA. And it would still be there up in your I guess main room like 7 years later. When I met Emika in LA for kind of what was our first weekend dating, it was at that apartment. And I got to show her that picture. I don't know where it is, but yeah, this is embarrassing. I've been sick. I got sick at the end of my time in London. I'm a little anxious. I'm really trying not to get my kids sick. London was just like, there was a lot of people sick there. There's a lot of going on. So I'm trying to keep everyone healthy and stay away for a couple of days, as annoying as it is.
I appreciate it. How was London?
London was great. The sickness definitely put a damper on the end of it. I didn't end up making it out to the actual game. But before that, it was awesome. It kicked my ass. Like, the jet lag there, I'm not someone that would complain about jet lag, but for some reason that combo in like a red eye, I don't know, it kicked my ass this time. Like Tokyo is always totally fine, but going there, it kicked my ass. But for the most part, it was fun. We did a live show. That was the highlight. I got to be like Anthony Jeselnik for a night.
The live show. You just did one live show or two?
We just did one live show.
And how did it sell?
It sold pretty well. I think it was like 700, 800 people.
Wow.
This theater. It was the first time we've ever done like a show like that. I would hazard to guess it's probably the first American football podcast that's ever been like a Ticketmaster ticketed show at a place that Winger and Skid Row were playing later in the month.
Wow, you're like the bros of the NFL. I remember last time I went to London. Actually, no, I went to London on my European tour. And we started in London, where I was with my friend Mo Welch, who opened for me, and we did a show at the Borgata in Atlantic City. And then it was a late show, and then I was like, all right, we're gonna go to sleep immediately. We're gonna wake up. We're gonna get this like 5 a.m. flight out of like Jersey to go to London. We'll get in like the night before our shows, and we'll get into the hotel, just pass out, wake up the next day, and be like totally cool. And so I get to the airport. I think I've taken like a Xanax maybe to travel internationally. And I'm exhausted. I cannot wait to just sleep on this plane the whole flight. And we're waiting by the gate. I'm flying first class. We're just talking. And I'm like, look, I'm watching the gate out of the corner of my eye. I'm like waiting for them to start doing things. And they're not. And I'm like, oh, the flight must be delayed. And then after like the flight, it's like 10 minutes until the flight's supposed to leave. And I walk over to the gate to see what's going on. And they go, "You Anthony Jeselnik?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on my way to go to a tour." And they're like, No, we don't know. We don't recognize you. We're waiting for you. The plane is closed. We took your bags off of it. It has been boarding this whole time. We were calling you over the PA. And I didn't hear. I was like, I wasn't wasted. My open and I look at each other like, we can't believe this. And I go over to the desk. They're like, you can't get on this flight. I go over to the desk. Like, there's one leaving in like 6 hours. And it would get us in like a couple hours before the show. And I had to just go and like go to sleep in the first class lounge for hours. Like I was so out of it, and then got there and like barely pulled it off in London. I was so jet lagged that almost like I wasn't jet lagged, and the shows were great. But I'll never forget that. That was a real kick in the nuts. Don't do that.
Yeah, I didn't have that experience, but I was feeling like trash on the day of the show, and I could like genuinely feel the adrenaline of the show like enter my body and fix everything with about 45 minutes to go before the show. Mm-hmm. Before that, I just felt like trash all day. And then like the show is approaching. We're getting excited. We're there. It's like the first time we've ever had, a big dressing room and a rider and all that stuff of like, it's our show. And it just hit me. And like, then I felt like $1 million and the show went amazing. And I wish I could just, live up on the stage. And I was just like full of adrenaline after the show too, and stayed up late that night and everything, and felt great. And it is kind of amazing, like that adrenaline or just like a feeling can just overwhelm. Like it's science. It can overwhelm your body and just make you feel better. And then I was back to feeling like trash the next day.
Do you feel like it was like the pre-show adrenaline, or do you feel like it was just the pre-show cocaine that you guys shoveled down?
I did not have any pre-show anything or post-show anything. I didn't drink like the whole week there. But no, it was the show. Like it makes me jealous of you. Like it makes me just want to be on stage more. I have that experience every year when we go there, but I have a very weird sort of on stage experience now, which is that we do it like twice a year, once at the Super Bowl, once in London. Like they always go great. Because it's our audience. We don't have to like win anyone over. It's much easier, obviously, than what you do. Like every little inside joke we make about the podcast, people just they just love it. They eat it up. It's great. But then that's it. It's just like twice a year, and that's all we get. I want more. I'm kind of addicted to it.
You think I was joking about the cocaine, but Roger Goodell has said that when you guys go to London, it's like international waters, that anything goes. There really are no rules. The only rule is that there are no rules. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're not wrong. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the London audience was getting into a little extra too.
Speaking of international waters, what was the take on the Antonio Brown situation this weekend? Because I saw the video of Antonio Brown in a swimming pool in Dubai, putting his butt in the face of a woman. A young lady in the pool who's like trying to lap but also trying to get away, and then he just pulls it out and is holding his penis in his hands. It's horrifying to watch. I can't believe he didn't get arrested.
I didn't watch it because I heard about it and I was like, I don't want to watch that. Why would I want to watch that? But
you don't need to see it. It's real quick. It just kind of came up on screen for me when I Google Antonio Brown penis every morning. But people in the comments were like, how did he do this in Dubai? How is he getting away with this in Dubai, which is like a crazy place? I almost went to Dubai once with Chris Rock. When I was opening for him, we were supposed to do a show or two shows in Dubai. And I remember I was like, what is Dubai like? And they were like, oh, you can do pretty much whatever you want in your hotel. Like money talks in Dubai. And then if you're out in the street and something happens, like you can get like horrible things can happen to you for like things you wouldn't think are a big deal. Like giving someone the finger. Like on the street, somebody cuts you off in your car and you give them the finger, like you can go to jail for like decades for that. Someone complains about you. The cab driver's like, he was rude. Like you can go to jail for that. But if you're in your hotel, you can do whatever you want. Hotels, like any drugs you want, because the place is full of money, and drugs, partying, insane shit goes on in the hotels, but outside the hotels, it's like martial law. So I think he maybe got away with it. I don't know if they kicked him out of the hotel. I heard the woman went and complained to the front desk. But the reason I'm talking about it now, not just because Antonio Brown's a friend of the show, but that afterwards I saw, and I don't know if this is true or not, but that Antonio Brown released a statement saying that a team in the NFL should sign him because of all the wide receivers in the world. He really knows how to unleash the D or unlock the D. Expose the D. He can expose the D. I'm like, if he said this himself, it's legitimately hilarious. But if someone else just made that up, I don't know. It's still pretty good either way. That he can.
There's no way he
can
made
expose
it up.
the D.
So, someone either gave that to him or he never said
That's
it in the
possible.
first place.
But if he put that out as a statement, kind of like that statement of him saying, like, as I retire, my biggest regret is that I couldn't like watch myself play. It would have been like watching the Beatles at Red Rocks. Like that was funny. There's no way he wrote that himself. But I liked it. Another thing I liked this weekend, Kenny Pickett fever is sweeping the nation. Sweeping Pittsburgh. I bought a Kenny Pickett jersey in the third quarter. I was so happy that he was playing, and I'm loving Kenny Pickett. People keep talking about 3 interceptions. I don't think any of it were his fault. I think obviously you throw out the Hail Mary at the end of the game, which was closer than Trubisky would have gotten it. I think that's an interception. Okay, the other 2 tipped, could have easily been caught. Should have been caught. Should have been caught.
They blew that game. Are you a little worried about the JRVP listeners though, who complain about when we talk about American football?
Yeah, I always worry about what JRVP listeners have to say about how we run the podcast. I'm always nervous. What do you guys want to hear? Let me please you. Tell me what you want. You want Gregg's giant baby head? You got it. But that's all I'm going to give you.
You've got a badass Penguins hat on. I do like that, along with your JRVP shirt.
Brand new Penguins hat. Penguins are coming back. I'm excited for the season. I'm just happy we kept the team together. We got Malkin, we got Letang, we got Crosby. I'm psyched. I'm supporting, and I like this.
Nobody knows who Letang is.
Everyone knows who Letang is. Letang's one of the best defensive players in the world still, and did amazing things for Pittsburgh. They owe him a great debt, and I'm glad they re-signed him. I'm excited. This hat is brand new. I bought it as soon as I saw it. I'm excited.
You're going back out on the road. You're gonna get that juice, live audience. Although you already do. You do it every night.
Sure, but there's a big difference between I'm doing 15 minutes on a showcase at the Comedy Store, or even like I'm doing a Largo show, versus like I'm doing six sold out shows in San Jose this weekend. Had to add a show, and San Jose is a big goddamn theater. I love it, but if I sell out 2 of those 5 shows, I'm happy about it. And
how big is it?
It's huge. It's like an old theater from like the 20s. Like I remember the first time I went. It's one of my favorite theater clubs to perform in because they've rented an old theater. They've been leasing it for 20 years now. But like Houdini performed on that stage. Like, and you feel it when you're up there. But it's a big ass theater, and no one sells it out. To sell out 5 shows, add a 6th, and sell out the 6th. I'm very excited. So I'm pumped for those shows. I'm very excited for Thursday night. Like the first one, I just have 1 Thursday, 1 Sunday, 2 the other nights. But there's nerves that come into me, like the leading up to the show. Where these past couple of days, I don't think I've been that pleasant to be around. I'm like getting things ready. I'm getting set lists ready. I'm just like crossing T's, dotting I's. But I don't know if I'm that pleasant. And once I get into the shows this weekend and get one under my belt, I'll be very happy. But really looking forward to the tour and just excited about how well tickets are selling. Listen, I performed at the San Jose Improv many times, and I've never sold out all 5 shows and had to add a 6th. Comics were like texting me to congratulate me because I had to tweet like
pent up demand because you haven't done it in so long.
Yeah, but I mean it's been around before. I think honestly I do believe that TikTok and Instagram has helped me. I think the podcast has helped me. But yeah, I'm sure pent up demand is a thing. But I'm very excited to get it back on the road.
Do you want any tips about like performing in front of a live audience? Just recently from like a veteran like me.
What are your tips? Go on stage with 2 of the least charismatic people in the world to make yourself shine.
Stop. That's not true. We all did a great job. We all were getting the laughs.
Yeah. Are you supposed to get laughs? Are you guys funny? Or are you just like dropping knowledge about football?
You know what? We always try to be relatively funny, but I have found on the live shows we lean into that. They don't really want the football. It's a lot more of like just kind of taking a piss out of each other and more of the jokey elements of the show. Whereas the podcast is like 75% football. I would say the live show people want way less than that. Our friend Pete Gardner noticed that like whenever we got too into football, we might lose them a little bit, but they like the fun stuff.
Did you get any JRVP shout outs?
No, we didn't have a long Q&A because we kind of went way longer than we expected. We overstuffed the show because we charged way more money than we've ever had before. And we were like, and we've never done it. And there's no way to time out how long the show is going to take. And it ended up being almost too long. So Q&A was short, but no JRVP shout outs. It was bullshit.
That sucks. London let me down. I feel like we have so much to talk about because last week was a mailbag episode we taped 2 weeks ago. So we're talking about 2 weeks. Did you see that Adam Sandler came and did my Largo show last week?
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was so cool. They said Adam Sandler had like hip surgery, and he was like laying up in bed. He's laid up in bed and he's just watching specials, and he saw Fire in the Maternity Ward and like loved it.
What?
Then, like looked me
I
up,
didn't know
saw
that.
I was doing Largo, and he's about to go on tour, so he came in just to do my show. He hadn't been to Largo in forever, but came and they were like, oh, like Nick Thune like didn't show up for the show. I was like, oh, we're short, and they're like, no, Adam Sandler's going to come, and I was like, great. Well, I'll switch out Nick Thune for Adam Sandler every day of the week. Came in, was very complimentary. He was like clearly in pain. He's like, if I'm sitting or standing, it hurts. But if I'm lying down, I'm okay. So he's like leaning up against a wall for most of the time he's there. Went out, had a great set, but was like insanely complimentary to me to the point where I was just like letting it wash over me and didn't know what to say. He was just like a really nice uncle that I was like, this is so great. I love the fact that Adam Sandler is here at my show. And amazing. His new stand-up is incredible. If you get a chance to go see him on his new tour, go check it out. He's just as hilarious as he's always been. So great.
And his movie Hustle was great. I feel like it's a it's a big Adam Sandler year, at least for me. You know, the fact that he likes Jeselnik and he released Hustle, which I really
And it's
enjoy.
funny, everyone kept complimenting him on Hustle, but they didn't know what it was called. So everyone would be like, I loved your Netflix basketball movie. And he'd be like, oh, he was like, oh, thank you. But like after the third person walked by us, because we were just talking, came by and said, I love the Netflix basketball movie. I thought it was really fucking funny. What did you see any movies while you were in London? Did you see any movies on the plane?
No.
I'm about to go into movie talk.
Anything.
You didn't see Jack.
No.
I went.
No,
Saw,
I was up in first class though for the first time. So we're making moves.
Yeah, you're getting up to Jeselnik level. That's nice.
I was seated across from Lindsey Buckingham of Fleetwood Mac on the way back home. How about that?
Did you know who that was, or did someone have to tell you that's Lindsey Buckingham?
No, someone told me. Yeah. I did recognize the guy from Scrubs, John McGlinchey. I did recognize him because that's my guy.
McGinty?
John McGlinchey.
McGlinchey? Is that how you say his name?
I think so. He's the funniest guy on Scrubs. Everyone knows him as the funniest character on Scrubs. That's what,
he was great.
He should be known as.
John C. McGinley.
John C. McGinley. Yeah. Would you call it McGinty?
McGlinchey.
McGlinchey.
Yeah. I knew McGlinchey was wrong. But yeah, you can't sneak one by Aaron, the resident Scrubs expert.
That's true.
Aaron, and now that Greg's not in the studio, me and Aaron are going to just watch a whole bunch of Scrubs after this. We're going to scrub it up. We're the opposite of TLC. I went and saw 2 movies in the past 2 weeks. I went and saw Don't Worry, Darling, opening night. Liz wanted to go see it in the theater where there would be Harry Styles fans screaming. Like there's some people were like screaming every time he came on screen and then laughing when he would act because he's not good. And we wanted to see that, but I fucked up the time of the movie. I thought it was like a 7:50. It was a 6:50. So we had to go to the late show, and there was no one there. And it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. So it was like a double kick in the nuts. It was terrible. The only thing I enjoyed was watching Nick Kroll get hit by a car at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert. Nick Kroll's in the movie and gets hit. Like when he turns evil at the end, I was delighted by that. I thought it was great. And cheered.
Wait, I can't tell if you're joking.
No, I'm not joking. Stood up and cheered when Nick Kroll turns bad and then gets hit by a car. I thought it was amazing. But it was like one of the worst movie ever. And I saw it in IMAX because it was the closest theater to me, and bought 4 tickets instead of 2. So I ended up paying like $100 to see one of the worst movies of all time. And then,
wait, was it a Meet Joe Black type of car accident? Yes.
No, not that. I thought you meant Meet Joe Black type of bad movie. It was like that bad where the whole time I'm just like white knuckling it through this piece of shit. And there are good things about the movie, but the movie overall is just like, it's just straight garbage. And then last night I went and saw Pearl. Have you seen Pearl or heard about Pearl?
No.
One of the best of the year. It's a horror movie. It's a prequel to the movie X that came out earlier this year from Ty West. Ty West is a friend of mine, and I loved X. Loved his other House of the Devil. He's done some great horror movies, and X was cool. And then they did a prequel to it with Mia Goth called Pearl that took place in like 1918, 1908. But it was just a fucking awesome movie. I truly loved it. So go see Pearl. It hasn't done as well as it should. I mean, it only cost $1 million to make, and it's made like 15 million. So it's made a ton of money. But people think it's going to be a horror movie. It's like there's gore and there's like horror, but it's mostly like a character study and just fantastic. Great performances, great writing. Go see Pearl. Pearl is the shit. Liz was seeing it for the second time. She saw it like a week ago and was like, "I want to take you. We got to go check it out." So yeah, go see. Wait,
Pearl. Is Liz gonna come with you to all your tour dates?
Almost all of them. She's hanging back for Phoenix because I couldn't find someone to watch the dog. But she's coming to San Jose, Salt Lake City, and then she'll come in for like one night to the other gigs that I have like around here. So it'll be fun.
It's gonna be a different experience. Have you ever brought around a significant other?
Never.
On tours?
Never wanted to. But she's going to be working. She's got stuff to do. And I think that not drinking. I'm going on this tour to work. Like I'm not just doing the shows, but I'm going to be writing. Like after every show, before every show, I'm going to be like writing, working on new stuff. So that by the end of these 7 weeks, I have a whole, like it's all new act and not mostly new act with like a couple older jokes thrown in. Like I've gone through the old stuff to find my favorite jokes that I want to do kind of at the end, like a celebration of 20 years, which is like in I think 6 days is my 20-year anniversary of 7 days.
I mean, are you worried about that part of it, telling the old jokes?
No, because they're bangers. and I did it at Largo, and people seem to love it. And if I was doing,
I know,
all
but
new
you got to
jokes, I'd
remember.
feel
You
weird.
got to remember them. It's like I just saw Pavement, and they've been breaking out some of their old songs, and I think they've forgotten a lot of them. They had to rehearse, or they it's harder to play those old ones.
It's a little. I mean, I'm a little rusty for sure. But once I watched the specials or listened to the albums and then wrote them down and kind of studied them over, once I start telling it, it all comes back to me. But I will definitely have a little cheat sheet there to remind me of what I've got to do. Anything else you want to talk about London or your family kicking you out? Stay in a hotel?
No, I don't know. I always feel lucky to go there, but it's a very strange phenomenon because we're much more popular there than we are here. Like when we go to an NFL event, they'll have these public sort of events. If we come off the stage, when we do little live events there, if we come off the stage there and we used to just do meetups after all of our live shows and just drink with all the fans for a while. And now we don't do that. It's too much. But if we come out into the crowd or we're on the way into a game, we kind of get mobbed. We don't get stopped for pictures for we don't get, we get asked for pictures for basically until we have someone come in to stop it. And that would just never happen in any other situation. So it's a little disarming.
You're like the Ramones. You don't get respect here in America, but you go overseas and they treat you like the gods that you are. That sounds nice. You guys can move there, make a living.
It's a nice little shot of ego and adrenaline, but it's a bomb in the middle of the season though. To just now I get back and you just gotta get back up, get back on schedule. It's hard enough to keep up as it is.
Do you know? Are you going back anywhere? Is there another international game this year?
There is. I pushed hard to go. It's in Munich, but they weren't really feeling it.
Really?
The NFL at least wasn't feeling it.
You should just fucking go, man. Munich Munich's awesome. I would rather go to Munich than London any day of the fucking week.
They're well, they don't speak English totally there. It's okay, but we have a pretty good podcast audience.
They speak English just as good, if not better, than the Londoners. They would know exactly what you were doing. It would have been great. I'm sorry you don't get to do that. Munich is the bomb. And now it's time for Did We Get Any Notes?
Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes?
I got nothing. And that was Did We Get Any Notes?
It's
No. No.
It's email.
No.
It's email corner. It's email corner.
You're supposed to play the note song again after I say, and that was Did We Get Any Notes? And then I introduce the corner, and then you go to the corner song. I will say one thing about notes.
You don't play the note song twice. You just play it once.
Yeah, you don't. You play it twice. That's the joke. That's what makes it great. I actually have one note. I walked into the studio today, and the boss, the big man here, Aaron, what's his name?
Mike Bertolino?
Mike, yeah. I walked in and Mike was like, Anthony, can I talk to you for a second? And I was like, yeah, what, am I in trouble? He goes, did you buy an All Things Comedy t-shirt online? And I was like, oh yeah, All Things Comedy has new merch, and I saw it, and there's a black shirt with orange lettering. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm sure they'll give me one, but I'm going to forget. So I just hit the button online, bought it, $20-$30 or something. He's like, did you buy a shirt? An All Things Comedy shirt? And he's disgusted with me. He's like, I can't fucking believe you did. And I was like, oh yeah. And he's like, we're not going to take your money. We'll give you a shirt. We've got a whole box of them over there. And I was like, thank you. So I not only do I have a shirt for me, I have a shirt for Liz, and I have 2 hats. Thank you.
What about me?
Maybe next week. Maybe I'll make Aaron dig through that box for 20 minutes again, looking for your size.
I'm just wondering, why is the president of All Things Comedy reading the receipts of who's buying what t-shirts?
That's his main job. That's his main responsibility. Is fulfilling orders, stuffing envelopes, and making sure it gets out to all the.
Speaking of which, you're wearing the JRVP Letterman shirt. I don't know what you call it. Those are the ones I gave my parents when they were in town. They were in town. That's another thing we missed a couple weeks ago here since we've last taped, and they love it. People love the new merch. People should check it out. And I think we're going to be working on some new designs soon, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. It's in the mix. I'm not doing what I did last time and build it up for months. When it's on the website, I will announce new merch on the website. I know what they're working on. I've been following along. I like it a lot, but I'm not doing what I did last time and having people fucking cry their eyes out, fill up their diapers with tears over our merch. So no updates until it's ready, but it will be ready at some point. And now it's time for Email Corner. Email Corner is a corner. We do emails. Ever since email was invented, the 90-degree angle was there. And we like to combine the two into something we like to call Email Corner, where Gregg reads emails from you, the listener and the viewer. Watch us on YouTube. You know what? I'll make an announcement. We have 7,500 YouTube subscribers on our channel now, and they said YouTube told me that's the most you can get. We did it, everybody. We're the best.
All right. Yeah. If you want to email us at jrvpjuniorvicepresident@gmail.com. You can also go, give us 5 stars, review us on iTunes.
We're like the Try Guys, cheating on our wives.
All right. Our first email is about rap. It's from Adriana. She says she wants to expand her limited rap repertoire of 90s rap and would love to hear both our suggestions for the best artists and songs, maybe top 3 of each for that era. I just want to know what you guys bumped to in your high school / lane days. Besides Black Rob, LOL. I'm already on that train. Well, she's already on the Black Rob train.
Yeah.
She loves the podcast.
You're halfway there. Now, I saw this question and I took it seriously. I assumed it was just 3 songs, but when I think of like 90s rap, I think of these these 3 songs. And I know everyone's thinking like, okay, 90s rap, name your favorite song of 90s rap. Everyone's wrong. Gregg, the song you think is the ultimate 90s rap song is actually from 1988.
Which is what?
Opposites Attract, Paula Abdul. When MC Scat Cat drops in. Right? Aaron, back me up.
Oh, hell yeah.
MC Scat Cat was the shit. But it's 1988, so I had to take that off my list. I thought about Mama Said Knock You Out, LL Cool J, but that's 1990. It's on the cusp, and I wasn't going to put it in there. But like it was really hard not to leave out Wu-Tang, to leave out like Biggie, like things that I thought were like seminal artists from that time period. I just went for the 3 songs that scream 90s rap to me. And I went with, actually, no, I did put Mama Said Knock You Out in there. Black Sheep, The Choice Is Yours. Whenever I hear that, that's 90s rap in my veins. And Ahmad Lewis and Ahmad, Back in the Day. Back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. Remember that song? That's so 90s rap to me. And it's not like, it's not something that I would like, they're not the best, but that was like, if I'm going to name 3 songs.
But that's like early high school days. Yeah, that is 90s. I guess I was thinking more mid to late because that's when we were a little older and it got better.
Of course, they're not the best songs, but they're the songs that I'm like, okay, this is like Summertime. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Like that is like a 90s rap song. That's not like a great song, but it's like, it's 90s rap to me. But it was hard to leave off Liquid Swords out of that. But then you open up the whole Wu-Tang catalog from the 90s. Dead Prez, Bigger Than Hip Hop, was on the list at one point. That's a great one. There's so many amazing 90s hip hop. Then like you can put that into any playlist and it'll just give you gem after gem.
Was Dead Prez 90s? I think that was probably in 99. I would say Hip Hop by Dead Prez is still up there for me as like one of the great rap songs of all time.
Mm-hmm. What are your 3?
I would put that in my top 3, but I didn't go songs. It said songs or artists, so I did artists. I didn't know. Well, there's a big difference. There's high school. Like high school, I would go in terms of what I was listening to, Wu-Tang and all the offshoots. Mm-hmm. Like even Ghostface Iron Man was released when we were in high school, but Enter the 36 Chambers. Tribe Called Quest, I would say in high school. Far Side, I would say in high school. Mobb Deep. Yeah, this is too many. Mobb Deep, Nas. Those were all great high school bands. Far Side was a great kind of intro to rap. Passing Me By might make my top 3 list. But then there's college rap, which is, to me, it's different. Outkast is like number 1. Mm-hmm. But that's when Juvenile 400 Degrees came out. That's right there. That's when Things Fall Apart by The Roots came out. That's right there. Gangstar. That's where Jay-Z started getting in the mix.
I think a lot of that's 2000. Because we graduated 2001. I feel like Things Fall Apart was 2000, which is not the 90s.
No, it was 90s. I remember going to the concert on Loyola's campus. It was sophomore year. That was like 1998, 99. I was there, Anthony. I was there.
I remember you guys
Dead
going
Prez opened.
I remember you guys going and hearing about it afterwards and being like, I would have gone to that. I didn't know. I didn't have any money to go to concerts. I wasn't rich like Gregg, going over to the Catholic school, giving him what for.
Please, I worked. But yeah, Aquim and I came out when we were like either freshmen or sophomores. And to me, that's still right there with any album ever released.
Absolutely.
So
I can't argue with any of this. It's all the 90s rap is an embarrassment of riches. I was hard to narrow it down to those 3 songs. I'm glad you went with 3 groups. I can't argue with any of it.
And I went with like 10 groups if you really listen to it. De La Soul was another one that got left on the cutting room floor, but they're good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next one. I'm going to leave. This is from a listener who I lost the name, but you'll know if you're listening, dude, because you're looking to leave the New York City area after living there your whole life. He says he's 27 years old, working remotely, single, making decent money, looking to move to a decent-sized city, but smaller than New York with a lower cost of living. Would Anthony recommend moving to Pittsburgh for someone like me? I know he speaks well of it there when he grew up. I'm not sure if he would recommend it for a young professional looking for change.
I absolutely would. I could see myself living back in Pittsburgh at some point. I would not go down. Gregg is just walking away. Gregg is not listening to the screen. And that's why I think, Gregg's marriage truly fell apart. They may not be divorced yet, but Gregg is back. No, I mean,
just be a pro. You can just be a pro. You ignore me and
you're on camera.
I'm going to be back.
You're on camera. When 7,000 people,
it adds an exciting surprise.
When 7,000 people are
doing?
watching, they're like, "Oh my God, what's happening?" Well, Anthony's talking to nothing.
He's just getting some water. I'm just thirsty.
That's great. We would have believed you. Pittsburgh is awesome, and I would say people go downtown, and they're like, I wouldn't want to live here. Don't live downtown. Downtown's got some shit there. It's got the sports. It's got a lot of bars, but that's not the cool place to be. There are cool places on the outskirts that have like the cool new restaurants. A lot of the young people are living in. I'm thinking. I want to say Lawrenceville is the name of like the town that's like the kind of the hip, almost the Brooklyn of Pittsburgh now. But there are very cool places, very great restaurants. A lot of like chefs from New York are just like, fuck it, we can make a lot of money and pay less money in Pittsburgh and go there. But it's a up and coming city for young people that I would highly recommend it. Highly recommend it, but just don't go downtown. There's great areas for young people. 27 years old in Pittsburgh, you can run that city. Enjoy it.
Yeah, let us know how it goes. Move to Pittsburgh just because Anthony told you, and then 6 months from now, let us know how it goes, and you can be featured in a future JRVP email segment as long as we don't miss it with all the other emails that get sent.
You don't even know his name. You cut it off when you sent it to me. But yeah, go to Pittsburgh. And I want to say I'm right about Lawrenceville being the name of the cool place, but I'm not exactly sure.
All right, and next question's from Chris, big fan of the pod. Anthony, would you rather host number 1, the ESPYs and flex your sports knowledge with athletes, 2, the White House Correspondents' Dinner and roast crooked politicians, or 3, Saturday Night Live, create a monologue and try live television acting? You can only choose one to host.
Yeah, this is an easy one. Let me go through all 3 options. ESPYs, garbage gig, just like an unpleasant gig. Unless you're like a former athlete doing it and they give you the respect that you deserve, great. Early ESPYs, like Norm Macdonald and the ESPYs was amazing, but the athletes hate it. It's all athletes wanting you to like talk them up. They don't want to be roasted. They don't want to be made fun of. They get upset. They get sensitive, and it's not a fun room to be a part of. I remember I wrote jokes for Jimmy Kimmel one year, and they cut his jokes. They cut 3 of his jokes. He was really mad about it because they told him they couldn't cut anything he did. That's why he took the job. And they cut 3 of his jokes, and they were the 3 jokes that I gave him. So I was over the moon about that. But yeah, I don't think the ESPYs would not want me, and it wouldn't be received well. Like I used to always want to host or be a presenter at the AVN Awards, the Adult Video Awards, and my manager wouldn't. They asked me one year. My manager was like, "You're too classy for that," and I'm not too classy for the porn awards. But they used to have comics hosted every year, and the porn stars like revolted because it's their Oscars. They don't think that what they're doing is a joke, and they don't want it to be presented that way. That now they have like former porn stars or current porn stars host it and talk them all up. But the ESPYs seem like the AVN Awards, but for athletes. So no, thank you. The White House Correspondents' Dinner. If they asked me, it would be hard to say no, because it's such like a kind of legendary thing. But it's a trap I think that comics fall into. That I'm not a political comedian. But I would come up there and go scorched earth on whoever the fuck was sitting in the big chair. Then you're just like this. You're this political kind of pawn for months. I mean, I think like my friend Michelle Wolf hosted it and got a lot of press out of it, but it almost kind of like ruined her Netflix show, because her Netflix show wasn't going to be political, and then it had to be because she was now this firebrand.
She's still known for that. I feel like
and it's
to
like,
a lot of people.
And it would like and her jokes were fine. She didn't take it too far. It just like the America is so politicized and polarized that it's like why do that to myself? But it would be fun to go up and just be like super fucking mean. I don't think they would ever have me do that either. But the Saturday Night Live, I think, would be great for a comedian. Any comedian, like maybe the show's not great, whatever. I haven't watched it in a long, long time. But the monologue, if you're a stand-up comedian, they just let you do whatever you want in the monologue, and it seems really fun. That I would love to do that. And they don't give you notes. They don't give you jokes to tell. You just go up and you do your act for 10, 15 minutes. And it's usually the best part of the show when a comic hosts. So it would definitely be SNL. I would love to do that. And I'm sure I will never host SNL, but if they ever asked, I would jump in a heartbeat and humiliate myself. Humiliate myself for 80 minutes. But that 10 minutes I got to do the monologue would be great.
I mean, our another one of our bosses, Bill Burr, has hosted that recently.
Yeah,
did a great job.
A year or two ago. But yeah, he was great.
Do you think he got the email that you bought the T-shirt from All Things Comedy too? Like he's like, what the hell? Why is he buying that T-shirt?
No, I think it was just Mike.
Why don't you play along? Jake is our last email. Yeah, I think I would like to see you host SNL. I would like to see the acting. I'd like to see you try to. You'd be game, I think.
I would do my best. I would do my best, but I would do my best knowing this is going to be bad. Like I remember Louis C.K. hosted one year and said he made them leave in a sketch that he was like, don't cut this because I hate it. It was like the sketch where he had to blow like a horn. It was like this really stupid sketch, but he hated it so much he wanted to do something that he hated, and it was great. That I'm like, give me things like that. I think would be really fun. So call me, Lauren. You've got my number. We talked about this.
All right. Jake asks, hi, Greg and Anthony. I would normally never email something in, but I'm sitting on a bench in Bristol, UK. I have zero interest or knowledge about American football, so I felt I would prefer to send in some better fucking questions. I think this was a response from a month ago or so when we were answering some NFL questions. Here's the question. He came with it. Would you rather always stink of BO or always be incredibly sweaty? See, I do like these kind of questions.
This is a great one. You want to go first?
Yeah, I would rather always be sweaty because if you... ultimately, you're then putting the pain sort of and the embarrassment on yourself. And I'm more comfortable with that than knowing I'm causing discomfort for other people at all times. Because even though in theory that sounds like virtuous of me, like, oh, okay, I'm more taking the pain. It's like, no, if I'm that smelly and everyone's smelling me the whole time, that's all I'll ever be able to think about. Whereas if I just like look sweaty, it's like, oh yeah, you're a hairy little Jewish guy. It's pretty typical.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm a little sweaty. I'm a little sweatier than I would want to be. And I get face sweats. I'm not like covered in sweat on my body, but if I start to sweat a little bit, it comes up on my face and I hate it. Like I grew the beard because I would get like a little sweat on my upper lip and it drove me nuts. But this question is really like, do you want to be more like Anthony or do you want to be more like Aaron? Because Aaron, I've never seen Aaron sweat. But Aaron is the BO is kicking. Like Aaron wears those like car fresheners around his neck to kind of like to mitigate things a little bit. I'm in the studio with him right now. But I think if you're sweaty and you're talking to someone, you can just laugh it off and be like, sorry, I'm sweaty. It's a little hot. I walked here, whatever it is. If you're like, oh, sorry for the BO. I smell so bad. Right. This is disgusting. Like it's off-putting all the way that I think it's a tough decision. Like if you were just on TV all the time, maybe you'd rather have the BO, so you wouldn't have to look like you're sweating constantly. But BO is disgusting, whereas sweat is just kind of like, if you don't smell bad and you're sweating, it's like, okay, like there's a story here, I guess. But it's not comfortable, but it's better than smelling bad. And I smell great, for the record. I smell.
I don't sweat at all almost. Even when I run, I don't sweat that much. I mean, if it's like hot.
I wish I was like that. I'm a face sweater, and it drives me nuts. If I was like a back sweater or an armpit guy, it wouldn't be a big deal. But the face sweating, it's like I always just look like I'm like super nervous or I like stole something, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I've gotten under control for the most part. Thank you, Beard.
Wow.
And that was Email Corner. Shine on. Emails.
And that was Email Corner. Diamonds around the world unite. Diamonds around the world unite.
Let's get the headlines.
No, let's do something else.
Oh, and now it's time for
Ad copy.
It's been a long time since I got to correct Anthony like that. It was fun.
You should have corrected me in the run through when I skipped over ad copy. Instead, you were like, no, it's cool.
That's true. And while we're editing on the fly here, we will break up ad copy, I guess, into two.
Yes.
Here.
I've got it.
Freshly, though, deserves to go first because Freshly is so darn good. Their end of summer sale is here. Look, the weather's gotten cooler. It's finally starting to get cooler a little in Los Angeles. Kids are back in school. One thing I'm not looking forward to, like at this time of year, is like cooking all the time. I mean, no one wants to eat my food anyways. That's why you got Freshly. Freshly's got lunch and dinner covered with fresh made meals delivered right to your door. You can unlock exclusive end of summer savings and get $125 off your first 5 orders at freshly.com/JRVP. Guess what? My mom is getting into the Freshly game. She was like, oh, you guys talk about it so much. How is it really? Like, is it worth getting? I was like, I think you'll like it. It's easy. It's nutritious. It's fresh. You just put it in the microwave. It's ready to enjoy in just 3 minutes. No cooking. So she's tried it out. She likes it. She likes that you can go on the website and, pick whatever you want. They do have other options. If you're calorie conscious, if you're gluten free, if you're dairy free. She's none of that. She wants the basic stuff. And she's really enjoyed it. So it's helped her, cook a little less, skip a little grocery shopping, do less dishes. All these things are positive.
Freshly is great. If they're good, it's a solid meal. It's a square meal. You get everything you need from any meal, and it's not sad. Every TV dinner I've ever eaten has been fucking sad. Freshly is not sad. It's not frozen. It's Freshly. You can't take it out of the fridge, throw it in the microwave for like 3 minutes, throw that bitch on a plate, and no one knows you didn't cook anything. Listen, it's the fall. You're back to school. It's a new you. You want to look good for the holidays. Eat Freshly. What I would do, honestly, if I wasn't on the road, I would get just a ton of Freshly, stock it in my fridge full, and then every meal I know I'm taking care of my body. I'm taking care of myself. I'm taking care of my taste buds. I'm hitting all 3 things about me with Freshly meals. I love them. I wish Freshly had been around when I first moved to LA. I would have eaten so much better. If you don't have a lot of money,
good call.
Go get Freshly. Get a ton of it. Eat it all. Send us a video of you eating the Freshly. And we'll send it to Gregg's mom.
All right, having one less thing on your plate never tasted so good. Take advantage of Freshly's end of summer sale. Score a special deal, $125 off your first 5 orders at freshly.com/JRVP when you order today. That's freshly.com/JRVP. Freshly.com/JRVP for $125 off your first 5 orders. All right, private internet access. So what is it? People don't know. I know what it is. It's a leading VPN provider that works with all the major streaming services so that you can access more content than ever before. Online privacy is something to be concerned about. And so what piavpn.com/JRVP helps you do is it creates a world where you have truly private internet access, the most transparent VPN on the market. They keep no tabs on you, no logs policy. It's basically an encrypted internet connection. That way you're in control of your data and your digital life is shielded from sponsors. But what can you do with that, Anthony? What can you do? Do you know?
I honestly don't know what the hell you're talking about, but I do know that Aaron has a no logs policy.
So what you can do with that is you can sign on to your VPN and suddenly you're on a server in over 80 countries in every US state. And so where that comes into play in my family is we sign on to a little VPN in Japan, and suddenly my kids are watching every Japanese manga show and anime show, and it like has literally changed their lives. There is no sponsor that we've ever had on this show that my kids have enjoyed more than PIA VPN. Like they can watch shows from all over the world. It's really kind of an incredible service. I feel like it's a little secret that's out there, and I feel like if you love TV, you go ahead and you got to get PIAVPN.com if you want more access to more shows and movies than ever before. Again, now's the time to subscribe to private internet access, PIAVPN.com, and you get an 82% discount, 82%. That's just $2.11 per month. You also get 3 extra months completely for free, but you must go to PIAVPN.com/JRVP for a truly private digital life. One last time, PIAVPN.com/JRVP. It's basically like going overseas, Anthony. You're getting all the TV that you get to see when you travel, except you can choose 80 different countries and watch any TV shows you want. My kids love me for a little PIA VPN.
It's so funny to me that, like, because last time you talked about this is the second time doing this ad, I was like, yeah, no, that is cool, interesting. And then my friends were like, everyone knows about this. You guys are so fucking old that you think this is some like new thing. You're describing it like it's like it was just invented. We sound like we're a million years old. It is great.
I didn't.
But I do like that you said manga. I thought it was manga. I've always said manga, and I don't say manga a lot, but I thought that I was right. Manga.
Yeah, me too.
That's the Japanese like sex cartoons.
No, that is not what it is. I mean, it's a broad range. We go down to the Los Angeles Public Library because they have like the best manga section in Los Angeles. It's just like, a whole room full of it for Ellis to get. It's
18 and over? Octopuses with breasts?
It's not about that. It's not about that.
And that was. And that was.
Sorry. Ad copy.
I know we're doing 2. Sorry. I was like, do they want me to correct them that it's hentai? Do I need to know that? I don't know.
No.
Sorry.
He's been waiting the whole episode to just bring up hentai. When I walked in, like normally when Gregg is here with me, he's like a buffer between me and Aaron. Today it was like, hey, do you like hentai? And I was like, no, Aaron, stop asking me that. And then he's just got like this fucking phone book full of octopuses with breasts. That's how I'll describe it. And that was
glorious creatures.
Let's get back to headlines. Let's get to headlines.
Yeah, let's start going to headlines, shall we?
Headlines.
All right, so there was a break in a Lil Nas X show in Atlanta over the weekend where he was not on stage, and suddenly the entire crowd there just heard his disembodied voice. I don't know if you knew that part of the story. And he told the crowd, hey, this is not part of the show, but I'm backstage and I'm taking a big shit. So give me a minute or two.
Now, I'm a big Lil Nas X fan. I don't love the music so much as I like him as a person. I like his social media shenanigans. I like the Nike shoes with blood and pentagrams. I like the idea of the video where he gives the devil a lap dance. I didn't love the execution. That was a little corny. But this is a rare miss for Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X, it's like, when someone gets like too cocky, they start oversharing. When like everything's a hit, like you're hosting a party, everyone's loving you. Every joke you tell is everyone's laughing, everyone wants to talk to you, and then you just go a little too far. You just say a little too much. To like, we don't need to know this, Lil Nas X. We don't need to know you're taking a dump. You could have made up any excuse. You could have said like, oh, we got like a costume malfunction. We got to do this. We got a lights thing. I'll be right back. I need a break. Hold on. I'm dehydrated. You don't have to say I'm taking a shit. If I was like at that concert and he says he's taking a shit and he's like, I'm dropping demons, I'm serious, I'd be like, this is bad. All of this is bad.
People kind of gasped and then cheered, though. I think they appreciate transparency. It sounded like they all thought he was joking, actually. And then he responded in a tweet later because everyone just thought he was joking. And he was like, yeah, people really thought I was joking. I was literally back there dropping demons into that toilet. I just like the phrase dropping demons.
It's not okay. It's not okay, Lil Nas X. You poop before the show. Listen, I perform a lot. Gregg performs shows once a year. You poop before the show. Maybe you didn't poop that morning, but like right before the show, you're like, you know what? Give me a minute. I'll be right back. Pooping during the show. And listen, I know people who have had to pee during a show. You're a comic. You're doing like an hour plus on stage. You've been drinking on stage. You're like, you know what? I got to run to the bathroom. Everyone's okay with that. But you have to poop. That's unprofessional. You didn't eat right before the show.
Well, maybe it's an emergency. I did see some response to this, and they were like, you know, we stand in IBS King. You know, it's bringing a little IBS into the mainstream. Hey, it's like one of the most common afflictions going right now in America. Let's not hide it.
Listen, I'm not talking out of school here. I've taken plenty of bathroom breaks in my life. Okay, I've taken plenty of dumps. I've taken multiple number twos in my life. If it is the point, and Aaron, you can yes. Aaron, you can back me up on this. If it's the point where it's like an emergency, like I've got to stop the show and run backstage, if it's so bad that you need to do something like that, it's too bad to joke about.
Yeah.
You know, there are certain number twos you joke about and certain number twos you keep to yourself and you suffer. You suffer in silence.
This isn't a comedy. It's a tragedy.
Exactly. Aaron, if you've got to take your T-shirt off while you're sitting down on the toilet, no one's making jokes about that. Okay, it's a serious matter.
I've never taken my T-shirt off.
Then bully for you, Gregg. Then you haven't eaten the things I've eaten. Because every once in a while, you got to take the shirt off. Aaron, taking the shirt off, it's a desperate move, but it's a move that has to happen, right?
There was a guy at work that used to take off his shirt when he would go to the bathroom, and then he'd just be in the bathroom, the work bathroom, shirtless.
It shouldn't be your move. Yeah. It shouldn't be something you do every time. It's like, I'm gonna die. I'm sweating this out. It's coming up my butt. It's coming up my pores. I'm taking the shirt off, and I'm just gonna like lie here on the toilet. It sucks. And so if you're joking around, it wasn't that big a deal. I'm anti Lil Nas on this.
I think that's crazy. I think dropping demons is a great phrase. It's kind of a callback to his video too. Maybe he could do a video where he's devil a lap dance while dropping demons. I don't know. No, I totally disagree. You give the devil a lap dance, break his neck, cool. Poop on the devil, not cool, man. Not cool. This has been popping up more because there was like a big poop story in the NFL this weekend too. DK Metcalf of the Seahawks, I don't know if you saw that, got carted to the locker room and everyone was panicked because like, oh, there goes my favorite player, my fantasy team, or the Seahawks' chances. And then he was getting carted back onto the field, and he was like, "Yeah, I just had to go poop." I don't know if I believe. I mean, remember when Paul Pierce got like wheelchaired off the court, like he was on death's door, and then came back out. What do you mean you don't believe him? Why wouldn't you make up a less embarrassing story if that wasn't the case? I think it's a trick to say it's an embarrassing story in order to hide, because you're like, no one's going to question that. It's so embarrassing. Why would you question it? It's like, and he's like, I wouldn't have made it in time if I wasn't on the cart. You can run. I've seen DK Metcalf run. That motherfucker can fly. Don't tell me the cart was faster. If it was like, yeah, but it's hard when you need to poop. Paul Pierce said that the little squirted out, so he didn't want people to see the back of his shorts that he pooped himself. So he got in the wheelchair. I believe that. I don't believe you had to sit down on the cart and then get carted back out. Listen, he played. It's easier. But it's weird. Easier. There has been a bit of a movement, and I'm trying to lead this movement, is that they need to get kind of a portable, not a porta potty because it would be nicer, like kind of like the equivalent of the VIP porta potties that they have at concerts. Stop. You need to have this on the sideline. Stop. Ready? You want a brown tent? Yeah, that's basically it. A brown tent. A brown tent for players who have to poop. I would support that 100%.
He's going in the blue tent. Oh, wait, no, he's going in the brown tent. It's okay. He's just dropping some demons. But yeah, I DK Metcalf, it's shady. It's shady DK. I don't believe it. And you're wearing football pads. Poop yourself. Poop. I heard that 90% of football players pee themselves every game. Is that true?
You just made that stat up. Some offensive linemen have talked about peeing themselves during the game. I think that occasionally happens, but not 90% of football players. I think a couple have done it sometimes.
Every single game. I'm excited for this next one.
The fishing world was rocked.
You're doing these totally out of order, but okay.
Well, we switched up. You got rid of one of the stories, so I'm skipping over that one.
And I replaced it with the one we put in. And kept it in that order.
So
but let's do your thing. Let's keep it going. Let's not let the people behind the scenes. Let's drop demons on them.
All right, the fishing world was rocked last week by a scandal in which two fishermen set to win $29,000 were found to have been stuffing weights and heavier fish into the fish that they caught, into their winning entries as part of their deception. A video of them getting caught doing this went viral over the weekend. It's now been seen over 12 million times. It's an amazing video. And it's basically just a bunch of people who literally want to kill these men for cheating.
It's amazing. Are you going to play a clip?
We are, well, because of the setup, I wasn't.
Great. I didn't want to interrupt if we were going to play a clip. I love this because the guy wants to die. There's two guys who got caught cheating, but there's just one guy on the video, but he's just staring at the ground. He knows everybody wants to kill him. He seems like a mouse in a snake's cage, or a snake aquarium. Aaron, is that right?
Terrarium?
Just an aquarium.
Yes.
It's just called an aquarium.
Snake aquarium. I'm coining it now. Aaron, write that down, and afterwards let's sell something. Okay. He's petrified, and these people would kill. If you're going to get killed, I would be more worried about getting killed at a fishing competition than any other competition in the world. It could be a shooting competition, a rifle competition, and I wouldn't be as worried. These people they've been fishing all day, and to cheat at fishing it just must make the blood boil. And these guys they'd been accusing them of cheating for a long time, and they win real money. Do you remember Gregg, one of our friends? I won't name drop, but one of our friends in college would take you golfing, and you'd be playing for money, and you would catch him cheating. And it's like, listen, if you want to cheat, if we're just playing around and you want to cheat to make yourself feel better, like, I'm not going to feel too bad about a stroke here or there. If we're playing for money and you're cheating in college, that's a gots-to-go situation, and it went. I would say, not because of that, but that was like a nail in the coffin for that friendship. But this is like, these guys are done.
Well, I mean, we didn't. Yeah, there was no like murder or anything like it gots to go. It's just
no, but that's how cheating is that much more infuriating. And like I get, and I didn't know this was like a big thing because these lead balls. It wasn't like they were ball bearings. Like give us a couple ounces on this fish. It was these huge lead pellets that I can't believe they didn't get caught earlier. And then fish fillets of the same kind of fish they caught, sticking them in there, which seems like you put your thumb on the scale a little bit. Okay, the weight was so crazy, like they got greedy, and the fish were just way heavier than everyone else's. That it was obvious. That I like that when people just get too cocky about cheating. They're like, oh, I'm gonna make $30,000 this weekend, stuffing fish with ball bearings. I wonder what I think they're gonna get. I don't know if they get arrested, but the police are investigating. Because it is,
yeah. They said they might be charged for fraud, and. Yeah, they found that they've won hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last few years. Mm-hmm. And basically they've been on a streak of winning that like no one thought was possible, just because like fishing's not like that apparently. I don't know much about it. Like basically they've been fishing in the same pond and it's like impossible to keep winning over and over like they have. But you mentioned it. They got way too cocky that they're like their fish were just like unbelievably heavy for what all the other fish caught that day were. I just love his face. Like it's such a rare thing in life that you were caught to be a totally despicable liar, that years of deception was found out. It's being filmed and you're surrounded by people yelling at you. What do you do in that situation because his face is amazing. He's just sitting there taking it. He chooses not to say anything, but he also doesn't just like walk away. He decides to take it. And literally at the same time, there's people in his face going, "You fucking piece of shit. You fucking suck. You cheating motherfucker." All this stuff. And he's just sitting there. And like, what do you think is going through his mind? What would you do in that spot?
I think here's what's going through his mind. Okay. You think like, please hit me. Like you don't want to get hit, but also if they hit you, it takes some of the burden off of what you've done. Like I think they're probably psyched the cops are coming after them, because then it makes people less mad at them. If something bad happens to you, then they're like, okay, well, like he got his ass kicked, so let's let it go. But if nothing happens, if you just like give the prize money back for that day and leave, they talk about you every day from then on out. But if someone just walked up and hit him in the face, it's like, okay, the narrative's a little more in my favor now. Because you're so fucked when you get caught cheating in that situation. And it wasn't like afterwards they were like, you know what, we decided that you probably cheated. It's like on the spot. That
No, it was in the moment.
It's the worst day of his life.
Yeah, the guy who run the tournament, like everyone was loving this guy because people were like, I think this guy's cheat. Like he just did it on sort of a gut instinct, decided to start like ripping open their fish out of nowhere. Like no one asked him really to do it. He was just like, this seems like bullshit. And he immediately goes for his fish, starts ripping into it and immediately finds it. And just everyone goes nuts. I loved it. If there was more of this, I would get into fishing.
I would think that you could just hold the fish and feel the metal things were huge. That I would think you just hold a fish and be like, there's 2 giant metal lumps in this motherfucker. Worst day of his life. It reminded me of, have you seen like an old Western movie where someone gets caught cheating at cards? And like that person's going to die. Like even calling someone a cheater or like catching someone cheating, they're about to get shot at the table. That these guys seem like old West dudes who got caught with like an ace up their sleeve and they're going down. But like their lives are over. They can never fish again. I don't know what their job was that they were making so much money fishing like this, but they'll never be able to even like fish. Like I don't think they can get a fishing license, and they certainly can't do any competitions from here on out. But those guys have to like shave their beards and stop wearing trucker hats and get like a job where they wear a tie and hope that people forget about this. But they're done. If you love fishing, like this is the worst thing that could happen to you.
They can't even eat fish.
No, it's the opposite of Good Friday for you every day. Deal with it. I love the story. There's another cheating story this week. Did you see the poker one?
There's been poker one. We talked about the chess one a few
the
weeks
chess
ago.
one.
There's been a lot of cheating.
Did you watch the poker? I couldn't watch the poker video, but I read about it. Where it's this woman, they're on a live stream, and this guy's like a great poker player, and this woman like kind of bluffs him. He's bluffing, but she's bluffing even worse, and she wins. And the guy's like, you must have seen my cards or know what I had in order to play the way you were playing. And I think she just played badly. She wasn't as good as him and was too afraid to admit it and like wasn't good at describing why she did what she did and was flustered and gave the money back just to be like, let's end this. And now people are just flipping out. But I don't believe she cheated. I think she just didn't know how to handle the situation and the guy was kind of an asshole. But the fishing cheating is the best of them all. What if, Greg, they beat the guys up, the fishing guys, beat them up, ripped off their clothes, and discovered they were both wearing vibrating butt plugs to help them fish better? What do you think happens then?
I think everyone would forgive him. I mean, that doesn't seem like an asset to fishing.
I think
like what sort of information could they let you know? The vibrating butt plugs.
I agree that you would, or if like they stripped them naked and they're wearing like lime green Speedos, you just be like, get out of here, just take your fish and go. It'll be fine. And now it's time for
more ad copy.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
That's right, Aaron. Helix is back. Helix Sleep is a premium mattress brand that provides tailored mattresses based on your unique sleep preferences. I've had my Helix mattress now for about 2 years, and I miss it whenever I'm away. When I was in London, 5-star hotel, their bed has nothing compared to my Helix. Emeka really enjoys it.
Beds. Tell me about the beds just for kids. I want one of those.
Well, that's a new one. Why would you want the bed just for kids?
Just to have like an extra option for when they come over.
Okay. I mean, my kids don't come over.
No. I wouldn't put your kids through what those kids have to go through when I bring them over. But they deserve a good rest at the end of the day.
So, yeah, you're right. They do have the kids' beds now. They have personalized mattresses that are shipped straight to your door, free of charge. You take the Helix Sleep Quiz. You have 14 different unique mattresses. They have luxury mattresses, big and tall sleepers, like we mentioned, the kids one. But when you take this sleep quiz, you find the perfect mattress in under 2 minutes. You get a 100-night risk-free trial to try out your Helix mattress. You don't want to go into a store, mess with that, but you do want to see sort of how your body adjusts to the Helix mattress. And if you decide it's not the best fit, you are welcome for a full refund. Everyone's unique. Everyone sleeps differently. So whether you want a mattress that helps you because you sleep warm or you sleep cold, there's models with memory foam layers to provide optimal pressure relief if you sleep on your side, like I want to get back into. If your spine needs a little TLC, they got you there too. A hybrid design that combines individually wrapped steel coils with premium foam layers at the top, so you can get any type you want, soft, medium, firm, whatever it is, American made. It comes with a 10 to 15-year warranty. Again, you get it 100 nights risk-free. It's been awarded the #1 mattress picked by GQ and Wired magazine. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/JRVP. With Helix, better sleep starts now. Again, that's helixsleep.com/JRVP. I said that again just on my own, Anthony, because he only said it once. I'm going to give him one free one. Let's do it again. helixsleep.com/JRVP. There you go. I'm a pro.
Helix is great.
You know what's next? Could you guess?
Cold and flu season?
It's cold and flu season. No, it's not even cold and flu season, but it's coming. And if you want to keep cold and flu season at bay, you got to try that Athletic Greens. The whole family's taking it now. Not just me, but Anthony. Update me on your Athletic Greens process. Progress.
I think I'm halfway through the first month of athletic. Maybe actually 3 weeks into the first month, but I love it. I'm getting used to it a little more. Waking up first thing, 10 ounces of water. And they say 8, 12 ounces of water. I go 10. I'm right in the middle. I know Gregg does a little less water. He likes the taste a little more than I do, but it's great to just get something in your stomach right away. And I wait hours before I have to eat something. I have to wait 15 minutes to drink my coffee, and I feel great every day. And it has helped my gut health. I noticed a difference in my gut health. Probably has helped my skin a little bit. But I'm going to be taking it on the road with me for the next month and a half, and see how Athletic Greens travels on the road. I got the travel packets. Liz and I are both doing it together. We get the 2-person monthly subscription fee that they have. It's a great deal. And then I also got the packets to take on the road with me so that I can do it on the road. It's good. When I'm on the road, I've got to wake up early before room service stops serving breakfast, and I hate that. So now I can just sleep as much as I want, wake up, slam some Athletic Greens, head to the fucking gym.
It's like Lil Nas X might not be pausing his shows if he had better gut health from Athletic Greens.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Right now, it's time to reclaim your health. Arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D, 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do, visit athleticgreens.com/JRVP. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/JRVP to take ownership over your health. Pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
Athletic Greens, hold on to your demons. Keep them in your butt. And that was
Ad copy.
Let's get back to headlines.
All right, here's the news story that we were talking about. We had to swap in another story because Aaron told us we had already done it 2 weeks ago in our episode. And he was, you know what? He was wrong.
He was wrong.
But it doesn't matter.
He was wrong.
I was close.
You were not close.
we were gonna.
You're either right or you're wrong. You're not close to right. You weren't close to right because you were wrong.
Yeah, we were gonna do a story about this Taiwanese old folks military home that ordered strippers and had to apologize. And Aaron's like, "No, we did that 2 weeks ago."
What
really?
was the story we did 2 weeks ago?
It was
Strippers in a
something
psych ward.
similar, except for in a
wasn't-
psych ward. It
wasn't
was parties
strippers
in a psych
It was a
ward.
party in a psych ward, no strippers. I'm sure there was strippers there, but it was a party in a psych ward. Well, we have done stories about old folks' homes getting twerked on, so I thought like maybe he's right, and then we switched it out, but he was wrong.
He was
Aaron, say you're
totally
sorry.
wrong.
Say you're sorry to the listeners.
Sorry, listeners.
I would tell you to say sorry for the YouTubers, but Aaron's not on camera. They wouldn't let us do that to you.
All right, but we have replaced it with a better story. Well, not better for Shiloh Rhoden, who is the victim of a horrible accident in Australia. So Rhoden is 26 years old, and she's in critical condition right now after walking onto a roller coaster track at the Royal Melbourne Show on Sunday night, where she was struck by a roller coaster. She was trying to retrieve a phone from beneath the track, and she was dragged 25 feet. She was struck and dragged 25 feet into the air before falling. What makes the story even sadder is Rhoden had just learned to walk again after... I'm laughing at you laughing, to be clear or not. She had just learned to walk again after being involved in a horrific car crash last year.
Okay, like you're wondering why is this funny to us? It's walking onto to a roller coaster track is a bad idea. Okay, it's a bad thing to do. If you drop your cell phone, ask someone who works there to get your phone for you. Do not jump onto the roller coaster tracks. Can you be forgiven because you haven't been walking around that much that you don't really know how to walk? And so you think walking under a roller coaster tracks are fine? It's just it's the worst luck possible. She got hit by a car a few years ago, had to go through a lot of physical therapy to be able to walk again. To celebrate learning to walk again, she goes to a amusement park and immediately gets hit by a roller coaster, which is bad luck. It's bad luck, but roller coasters only go in two directions. It's hard to get hit by them. A car, okay, anything could have happened. Maybe you're in the street, maybe the car jumped the curb, who knows? A roller coaster, that's your fault every single time. That to have just learned to walk again. Imagine being her physical therapist and being like, did you hear about what's her face? Like she fucking, it's the equivalent of letting yourself go. It's like you go to the gym and you want to lose weight and they get you to lose all the weight and then you come back a week later and you're fat as fuck. It's disrespect to the trainer. That this story is absolutely hilarious to me. Like I bet no one could believe it. I bet she feels dumb.
Well, yeah, I'm sure she does. For what she's aware, she does have brain damage. She broke her pelvis, arms, legs, back, and neck as you hear the traffic going over.
Did she Greg? Did she get the cell phone?
I think it's safe to say she didn't. The roller coaster not only was going 40 miles an hour at the time, 40 miles an hour, but someone was taping the incident and uploaded it to TikTok. I mean, that should have whatever is beyond an NC-17 rating. That is a horror movie. People saying that they've been traumatized because they were on this roller coaster, but someone posted it like that they were going on this coaster before they smashed.
Wait, so the person filming was on the roller coaster? The person filming was on the roller coaster?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought it was maybe one of her friends filming. Like, yeah, go on the tracks. You're cool. You're a new walker. Get on out there, grab it. Oh, I could go get your phone for you, but I'm gonna let you go get it because you've been laying down a lot. But to be on the roller coaster, filming it, and watching someone get hit is... How do you not post that on TikTok? You need those likes.
I mean, she had this accident in January of 2021. She was driving, and she was driving her car, and she ran into a truck and a car. She was not wearing her seatbelt, and she was ejected from the car and then suffered, many serious injuries that, it took her over a year and a half plus to fully learn to walk again. And
In her
then-
defense,
and
though, that car accident is not the dumbest thing she's ever done. We can say that.
I mean, it really does seem. I don't know. It reminds me of like the fireman Ed skits that Jim Carrey used to do. I don't know. It
Fireman,
seems like
wait. Fireman Ed. Fireman
whatever
Ed.
it was.
Fire Marshal
What
Bill.
was his-
Fire Marshal Bill.
I'm really turning into an old person, but just like you can't really believe that this person who like had their limbs ripped from them or all this terrible stuff happens to would then go back into the fire and more terrible things happen.
Yeah.
Is that how that skit went?
Yeah, that's exactly how it went. That's how Fireman Ed went down every single week.
Comic.
I don't know what Greg's trying to do. I hope she lives.
I'm laughing at the comic brilliance of that skit. It's just perfect.
It is good. We got a new one. New Fire Marshal Ed. Fireman Ed.
Do you want some more context that they just threw in? You want to hear what the last line of the story is?
Fuck yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
The last line of the story is, in addition, the tragedy comes less than 2 months after her brother Jason died.
I mean, that's got nothing to do with anything. I can't wait for another update where she gets hit by a truck in heaven. Jesus Christ, lady. If she lives, play the lottery immediately because your luck's got to turn around. Getting hit by a roller coaster it's bad. I'll say it. That's the JRVP promise. It's bad. But you know what she is, Greg?
Please give it to her.
She is the JRVP listener of the week.
Hell yeah.
Someone tell her.
That was a tough one. I mean, that was dark. This one's less dark. It's about a 20-year-old in Ohio, Austin Bellamy, who was just cutting some tree branches last week, helping out his family, cutting some lemon trees. The old family lemon tree. And then he accidentally cut into a bee's nest, and those bees did not like it. And he was stung 20,000 times while screaming for help. No one particularly helped for a while. The fire department eventually got there, and he was put into a medically induced coma for a couple days as he recovered. He is doing better now.
I mean, I can't believe he didn't die. How do you get stung 20,000 times? Like did he just stand there? I feel like he must have like cut into the hive and then just like covered his junk and been like, until someone came and put him in a medically induced coma. Because if you run and jump in some water. That's what you do. Get out of there.
I think he got overwhelmed by just the sheer quantity of bees or whatever. It said he swallowed 30 bees. I mean, his face is so, there was pictures. I also think it's fair to doubt the 20,000 number. I read multiple reports. It just came from her mom. I don't think she really knows how many times she gets stung.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question is like, what's worse, getting stung by 20,000 bees or counting 20,000 bee stings? Like being the poor intern who's got to like sit there and be like 1, 2, 3. Like, no, I bet he got stung 24 times.
No, the medical people on hand actually did use the word thousands, and that's where I trust the medical people. They're the police. I talked about it. His mom put up a GoFundMe and used 20,000 and kept saying that in like interviews with the local news. I think she just made up 20,000.
What's the GoFundMe for ice? What's he gonna do? What do they need the money for? Honey? Like, get a new lemon tree? He's already been stung by bees. You don't need anything. Like, what are they asking for?
The medical costs. I think he's in the hospital for a long time. He was in a medically induced coma for 2 days. He came out of it, but he's still in the hospital, and there was like a recovery. So, it's the medical bills he was looking for, I think.
It reminds me when I was a kid, my dad was asking me to do yard work, and there was a wasp nest in like the wood pile out in our backyard. And I was like, oh, there's wasps here. I'm just gonna like go inside. I think they told me to do something, and then they left. And I just like, oh, wasps. I'm not messing with this, and went back inside. And my dad came home and yelled at me. He was like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you move the wood pile, whatever it was? And I was like, there's wasps in there. I can't do it. And he thought I was just being lazy. So he went to do it himself and got stung by a whole bunch of wasps right away. And watching my dad yell at me and then go to like prove me wrong and then get stung by a bunch of wasps was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Like I was just sitting there like he was rolling on the ground trying to get away from the wasps. I was rolling on the ground just laughing at my dad's pain. And one of my first ever stand-up sets when I was started doing stand-up in LA, I was still taking the class. Part of the class was you would come in and you'd perform for 7 minutes in front of like the 20 people in the class, and they would give you notes. And my first ever joke I ever told on a stage was an impression of my dad getting stung by wasps. And it was so humiliating to me to like jump up and do like a physical comedy bit that got 0 laughs that I never even bent my knees on stage ever again. Like I never did anything physical.
Wow.
That I'll never forget that. The pain of even describing it now, the humiliation is right there. Right there. It's bad. So this kid
Not as humiliating as your dad getting stung by all those wasps. He should have listened to his son.
He wasn't humiliated. He was angry, but that wood pile got.
I mean, didn't it hurt? I would be more than angry, and I'd be mad that my son was laughing in my face.
My dad got mad that I was laughing in his face a lot, so it wasn't that bad. But yeah, that was a good time for Tony Jeselnik and his son Anthony.
We were once going in the back for it. Like we lived near it next to a forest where I grew up in Wilbraham, Massachusetts. It's a farmy, woodsy type of town. I once took my cousins back there. They thought it was cool to like look for different animals and turtles. There were like swamps back there. And my cousin Justin poked a bee's nest by mistake, and all the bees came out, and he got stung like 25, 30 times, and we all like just started running. And it was the first time I had ever been stung. I got stung a couple times, and my other cousin Anna got stung a couple times, but he had about like 30 on him as a 10-year-old. That's a traumatic experience.
Yeah, that's tough. I've gotten stung a few times by bees, wasps, whatever, but never more than like 1 or 2. But I don't mess with that shit. The honey's not that good. What's the difference between a bee sting and a wasp sting, Greg? Do you know?
I don't know.
A bee, when it stings you, the poker, Aaron, right?
Yeah.
The bee poker, it sticks in you and then it can't come back out, so it rips off the bee's tail. When a bee stings you, the bee dies. When a wasp stings you, it's fine. It can keep on stinging you. So it's like, I think it'd be better to be stung by a bee just because you know at least they're dying. Wasps, you're mad at them.
But you're right though. The pokes like are left in there because the mom said when she got to the hospital and she like was like touching him, his head was like a porcupine. You know, all the pokies were still like stuck in his head, and she said it was like a Pinhead situation. Remember Pinhead?
I remember Pinhead. They're coming out with the new Hellraiser soon. I would say, hey mom, suck him out. That's your son. Why are you petting his pokers? Suck him out. And now it's time for Choo-choo Recommendation Station, Greg.
I'm going to recommend a show whose season has returned. Season 3 of Blown Away is here. Blown Away is back. I love Blown Away. Nobody knows Blown Away. It's my favorite reality show in the game. It's the #1 competitive glass blowing competition in America. Actually, no, it's set in Canada, so it's in the world. This sounds, and I feel like people watch this show initially almost as a joke, and I did sort of start watching it like tongue in cheek, like what the heck is this? A competitive glass blowing show? This sounds insane. It's a little more cheaply made than most reality shows on Netflix. It's on Netflix, but I truly do love it and think it's like a great show because the people in it are all badasses. It kind of reminds me of Top Chef in that way. Like it sounds crazy because glass blowing is just like such a random art form, but they're absolutely artists. I actually find them very inspiring. Like they are all like giving up their life essentially for art that is not necessarily always giving that much back, but they're always like total badasses, whether they're men or women. It's a cool subculture that I just don't know anything about. And then they put them through these different competitions and judge it. And the pacing of it is what's perfect. It's like 25 minutes per episode. Like they don't linger on anything too long. It starts with 10 people. By the end of the season, you're just down to your winner. They have a few too many bad puns, but I can forgive that. Blown Away. Great season 3. If they put out a season of Blown Away every month, I would watch the entire season every month. But instead now I got to wait a year, probably, if they even come back for a season 4. But I'm glad they did a season 3.
What's it on?
It's on Netflix.
Okay. Blown Away
like I said, like 25 minutes. It's fun. There's some contestants in this one that are just like, they're just cool. They have great backstories and they kind of like give up everything for glass blowing of all things, and they make cool shit. It's pretty cool.
Sounds great, Gregg. I'm going to recommend a book I just read that I absolutely loved. I know I've been saying these are my favorite books of the year a lot lately, but this is absolutely one of my favorites of the year. One of the best books I've ever read. It was long listed, I believe, for the Booker Prize. And when they announced the Booker Prize long list a week or so ago, a couple weeks ago, they just had the short list come out, and this didn't make it. But I read an article that was like, these books are all kind of like whatever, but this, if you want to pick one up and enjoy it, like read The Trees by Percival Everett. Have you ever read anything by Percival Everett?
No.
This book, it's hilarious. It's a heavy subject. It's basically like about, for lack of a better term, black people getting revenge on the way people have treated them in America for the past, 100 years. And which makes you think woke. But this is like badass woke. Every character is legit hilarious, like funny. It's a great almost noir like style to the way everyone talks and the way they act, and just like truly funny. And also like you learn things, and it gives you like an empathy for people. But I laughed out loud many times throughout the book. It was a true pleasure to read. I wanted it to be a movie. It's the way every character acts. It seems like it would be like an amazing movie. I would love to see this movie. The Trees by Percival Everett. If you like my recommendations, but when I say something is truly funny, and not like it's a ha-ha funny, but like these characters are awesome and everything they say is fucking great. Read The Trees by Percival Everett. One of my favorite books of the year. The Trees by Percival.
I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it. I've got too many Jeselnik recommendations to read. My reading is slumping. I'm struggling right now.
I'm about to fire out through the end of the year. I just counted how many books I've read this year. 48. My goal is 52 books this year. I'm at 48 in the beginning of October, and I've got some long ass books coming up. So I might just maybe barely make it to 60. But I'm on the road. I'm not drinking. I'm going to be reading them books, and that was. Recommendation Station. Walker, get us out of here. Feel better.
Whoa, Nelly Furtado, that's a spicy meatball.